I'm continuing in discussing the design of polarity in relation to assisting and supporting Michael Tsarion with perspectives and insights of what we have found with regards to polarity, to consider the solution that the practical solution that we found with polarity in its entirety, in the particular design thereof as good and evil. So I ended off in the previous interview with regards to equilibrium, becoming the living expression of the equilibrium within the polarity design of good and evil that exists both within self and plays out within the world in its entirety. Equilibrium, I mean an actual self-stop, when self-stop entirely and completely from existing within polarity. When self-stop existing within the definition of good and evil, meaning you become not of evil and you become not of good. And that point of equilibrium we have found as self-honesty. Because where many make the misinterpretation or mistake is wanting to become neutral between good and evil. But what happens is then you're basically simply only existing within a containment, basically saying, I'm not going to look at either good or evil, I'm neutral. But what you're actually saying is you're keeping both good and evil simply in balance, and that you can exist in both good and evil at the same time. That's what neutrality means. That's what we found within our search for a solution with regards to the whole experience within ourselves, within the polarity of good and evil. We've attempted to do the manifestation of ourselves as being neutral, but that it was such hard work. I mean, you kind of have to manage this polarity design of good and evil the whole time, keeping yourself at bay to remain neutral, meaning creating a resistance in good, creating a resistance within evil. I'm neutral. I'm not going to look at good. I'm not going to go to evil. I'm neutral. That whole ball playing still remains, because in the previous experience you wanted to be good, so you're creating a tennis ball effect between good and evil. Now you're creating a tennis ball effect towards both good and evil at the same time. And literally what happened is, within that manifestation, within that experience, we literally depleted ourselves, meaning all our focus and attention only went to maintaining a manifestation of neutrality, which had the exact same effect of attempting to maintain the experience of ourselves as good. It took just as much energy, it took just as much attention, it took just as much focus, and at the end of the day, you're not focusing on yourself. You're focusing on maintaining a certain position. That's it. So you're either maintaining neutrality, which is an experience of maintenance. It is work, it is effort, it is attention, it is focus, and you literally deplete yourself. And within wanting to maintain being good, same effect. So we stopped. Neutrality is not the solution, because we're exactly in the same position as we were within wanting to remain good. So we breathed and we observed this whole situation. Now, an interesting fear that came up is not wanting to lose that which is good. Because we defined ourselves as being good, as good beings, and everything that goes with the definition or experience of being good. However, we found something very interesting, because we looked at this whole tennis ball game that's going on. between good and evil, within ourselves, within the world. And we ask the question, but there must be a definitive relationship, between good and evil for it to constantly balance itself out, or want to balance itself out. If, for example, I focus only on wanting to be good, I deplete evil, and then evil kind of fights back because it wants its energy back. And then one kind of veer to the experience of evil, and then one say, no, and then you fight evil and create another resistance, and then pull the energy back again, and that whole tennis ball effect. And there must be a relationship for each other to literally be feeding each other, because if the one's fine, the other one's not fine. Where is that relationship? Why does it always want to balance itself out? Why is it a constant battle if I want to be focusing on being good? This is what we found. That for everything that's good, there's something evil. Direct polarity. In other words, love and hate. Love being good, hate being evil. For love to exist, hate exists. Happy, sad. Happy being good. Sad being bad. Good and bad, good and evil. You have for example, within this world, the cloud exists the same way. You have a murderer, evil. You have a saint, good. In religion, you have angels, good. You have the devil, bad, evil. Constant. For everything that is good, there is its opposite point of bad, of evil. And we looked at this, and it was shocking, because where we could see that point with regards to, for every good manifestation there's an evil manifestation, opposite points, that is literally tied up in relationship to each other. Meaning, for example, you have let's say you have let's look at the play out within the world, for example. Or wait, let's first go to self. Let's say you have the feeling of being happy, which is good. You're good, you're happy, and you do and apply acts that make you experience yourself as being happy. And all you do, speak, your whole world revolves around being happy. Now, what happens is, because I'm focusing me so much on only being happy, the sad exists. Because the sad is in direct relationship to happy. Direct relationship. So you have your good and your evil, which is your happy and your sad. And you're only focusing on being happy. You're sad at the bottom. And when you literally empty out the opposite polarity, it wants its balancing point energy back. And then the sad literally starts creeping in. And to balance itself out between the two polarities of good and evil, you crash. Constantly. And then you work at becoming happy again, and then you crash again, as the good and evil want to balance itself out within self. Alright, I'll continue in the next interview.